Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Dragon's Greed Gaming. It is I, your host and GM, the Great Unclean One, and we are back for episode 3 of Mork's Madboyz, our Warhammer 40,000 Wrath and Glory actual play series. The titles never get shorter around here, only longer. Thank you for joining us. As always, be sure to check us out on Facebook and Spreaker and YouTube. Give us a like, a follow, a subscribe, help us build the channel, and swing by good old iTunes or Apple Podcasts to leave us a 5-star review and help us grow over there as well. And if you like what you're listening to, consider supporting the channel. Support the show by heading over to our Patreon. We have 4 different tiers of various goodies you can get your hands on with all sorts of cool rewards from like $2 up to like $20, I think, depending on your pledge level. But check it out. We've got a Patreon exclusive, Patreon only monthly Warhammer Fantasy campaign if you're still looking for some old world action. I've got some cool artwork that Kyle's been putting out. Wait till you see next month's La Volpe piece. It's fucking stellar. And yeah, just all sorts of good stuff. So be sure to check us out on Patreon, Patreon/Dragon's Greed Gaming, I believe. Just check our Facebook. All the links and stuff are there. And finally, we are proud and happy to say that tonight's episode is being, what's the word, Sean? I'm losing
Sponsored.
Sponsored. Thank you. I'm all over the place tonight. We are once again sponsored by Manscaped, the excellent male grooming products. They were kind enough to send us some kits to try out their new Lawnmower 4.0, along with the variety of other goodies they have. The Crop Reviver, some t-shirts, boxer shorts, nose trimmer, all sorts of cool good stuff. If you haven't shaved your balls before, I recommend you do it. It's a liberating, wonderful experience, and Manscaped can help you do it in a fairly safe, easy, efficient way. The lawnmower is waterproof, so you can use it in the shower, or if you're the type that likes to straddle your toilet and you drop it in the toilet, it'll still work. So whichever way you want to do it, it'll work out for you. And if you go over to manscaped.com right now, you can use the promo code DRAGONGREED and get 20% off your order. That's single dragon, Dragon Greed, all one word, at checkout to get yourself 20% off. Go over there, show them some love. That'll help show us some love too, and maybe we'll see more Manscaped in the future. Highly recommend it. They've got great stuff. And again, if you haven't done it before, go check it out right now. But enough about that. We are here for some grim, dark 41st millennium orc shenanigans. And we're going to talk to our orc players right now as we go around the table. We'll just keep it in seniority like we did last year. If you guys don't remember, figure it out. Tell us who you are, who you're playing, and... Oh, I don't know. How about... What's your favorite color, and why?
Oh boy. Oh, that last one. I'm Kyle. I will be playing Grave Scorcher, the burner boy who got his jaw all fucked up last episode. As for favorite color, I don't know. I got a lot of them. I do like a good turquoise or teal.
I was going to say the proper choice is green.
I mean, it's in there.
And
Yeah.
why? Why teal?
Oh, so I do like to do the arting, and teal is fun to work with as a color for me.
That's a good reason. Okay.
Hello, I'm Eric. I play Laktar, the commando for our campaign. I'd probably say my favorite color lately has probably been orange, because I used to have a Jeep Wrangler in a bright sunburst orange, and I just love that car.
Really? Was that back during the Gurney days or earlier?
Yeah, I bought it, I think a year or two before I went into the Marine Corps, so I was still in Illinois, and I sold it soon after getting to San Diego.
I don't think I ever
Unfortunately.
saw that. Did was that when your wife had bought the, was it the Ninja Turtle tire cover for your birthday
So
one year?
that was for my blue one. That was for my first Jeep. So I got into a pretty nasty accident in that where somebody um, basically hit me, like a truck swerved in the snow and hit me head on. Like they
Oh,
swerved into
jeez.
my lane, and just destroyed that Jeep. So after that one got totaled, we took that money and went and bought the orange one.
Okay, I never saw the orange one. I would imagine I'd remember a bright orange vehicle.
We did save the Ninja Turtle tire cover though. We cut it off the
Oh,
back before
it survived. Okay,
Yep,
good.
it's hanging in my garage.
Awesome, cool.
And I'm Matt. I'm playing Edaka, our mech boy. As for favorite color, I really like blue. You can do anything with blue. You can put on a Canadian tuxedo. You could actually make it fancy. Like, I don't know if you, obviously the listeners can't see the background of Foundry that we have right now, but the fellow with the epaulets on the right side, that's looking pretty sharp.
Yeah, I think that's actually supposed to be the Rouge Trader Jaquel Veronius, who is like one of the main NPCs if you play in the setting that they set up for this game in the Gilead system. He's like the Rogue Trader that's kind of in charge of everything.
Nice.
At least I'm pretty sure because his art is all over the place, so.
It's a great look.
It is. His cool, like, dreadlock mohawk is pretty sweet, too.
Yeah,
Whatever's
pretty
going
solid.
on there.
I'm Sean. I will be playing Peppa MD, the Orc Pain Boy. And I guess favorite color would be red. I like a good red because painting miniatures and stuff, I enjoy painting reds and fires and stuff like that. So always a good color for me.
Well, where's your Speed Freaks army?
Well, I mean, shit, I never played orcs, so
That needs to change.
I mean, I guess I just got to start, an orc army in Fantasy 6th edition and make all their boars red or something. Oh.
I mean, every time I've seen a Speed Freaks army in 40k, they seem to be really good, no matter what edition. I imagine it's something to do with it being able to move like 18 to 24 inches in a single turn. For
Yeah.
I guess not necessarily mostly melee, but for an army that can definitely favor the melee phase.
Yeah, I can see how they would do a lot of work by getting to the enemy in less than one turn.
Yeah, back in 3rd edition, if you painted your vehicles red, they moved 1 inch extra.
Yeah.
That was.
I think that was still a thing in like 5th or 6th.
Yeah,
It could be.
got into
Yeah.
4th or 5th, I think.
Yeah, good times. Why
Love it.
is your truck moving 13 inches? Oh,
Yeah. It's
Red,
weird,
don't you
weird
know?
Odd numbers, yeah. I love it.
Haven't you heard? Man, fuck you guys.
Awesome. And I am the GM, the Great Unclean One. My favorite color is most certainly black, like my cold, dead, dying heart and or soul. I'm also a big fan of purple. I love like that kind of noble, dark purple. There used to be a great Citadel color called Imperial Purple, which has gone the way of the dodo. But there's plenty more to choose from now, so always enjoy painting it. And yeah, I mean, if you look at my wardrobe, it's like 98% black clothes. It's kind of like Batman from the Lego movie, like I only work in black and sometimes really dark gray. It's kind of like that.
I was really annoyed to discover that they retired my army color as well, which was the warlock purple,
Oh, that was a good one.
the chaos
Uh,
guys.
Yeah, yeah. Well, there's actually like more than one or two purple colors now in the range. So, yeah, Games Workshop just can't stop putting out new colors. So, cool. Well, we'll have the return of purple something in the future, I'm sure. But for now, let us dive back into the dark future of 40K. So last we left, our intrepid orc crew had inadvertently activated a large robot that was defending this command center they found in this underground base in the ruins, the Archaeotech ruins. It did some pretty nasty damage, especially to, I believe it was Kyle. Grave Scorcher got a little messed up, but you guys did manage to finally destroy the thing. And then Headhacka had found a strange black rock that was in one of the experiment tubes on one of the tables. You took all of that back, including you downloaded some records and things from the base's database that said something about a substance called Blackstone. And you returned outside, where you were attacked by a small squad of Scutari from the Adeptus Mechanicus, probably from one of the nearby little towns or settlements, colonies. After obliterating them, you looted some of their gear, hopped back on your shuttle, and made your way back up to the Vindication up in orbit, where you met with Commissar Blaze. She took the data that Headhacka had retrieved, and you guys handed over the remains of the robot along with some of the gear, but you got to keep some for yourselves. And then Headhacka started doing some experiments to figure out what this Blackstone was, realized that it was dampening Shornscar's psychic powers in some manner, and meanwhile, Dr. Peppa, with one of his grot orderlies, had done some surgery to fix up Grave Scorch's messed up jaw, and ended up fixing the whole jaw, even though the whole jaw didn't need to be fixed. But with a couple complications later, Grave Scorcher now basically has dentistry headgear to keep his jaw in place while it heals, much to the humor of the rest of the tribe. And what else? Oh, Headhacka kept the part of the Blackstone. And then your Orc Knob, he had Ironjawz. He had decided he was starting to get uppity and sick of following the Rogue Trader's orders. You know that he is pretty much the oldest orc in the tribe, and he's been in the servitude of the Rogue Trader for many years. And you can tell he was especially upset when he found out that it seems you guys were sent down to get a rock, as he so delicately explained it. Another orc knob by the name of Gut Wrencha challenged Ironjawz, thinking that he wasn't tough enough to lead the tribe, and a quick but vicious fight broke out in Headhacka's workshop, and with Ironjawz emerging victorious and starting to get a lot of the tribe riled up, and in the direction of maybe it's time to throw off the shackles of oppression and do things for yourselves. And I believe Grave Scorcha and was it Peppa? We're kind of buying into his preaching, if I recall.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
At least for me.
And then if I recall, Loktar and Headhacka, you guys were kind of like, yeah, maybe not. But
I was pretty all in.
Oh, you're all in?
Loktar.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm all about all in, man. All in, every bet. Well, in that case, that is where we are going to pick up maybe the next day or so. A lot of buzz around the recent fight between Gut Wrencha and Ironjawz. Now, I will point out that there is really no official leader of your orc tribe, but a lot of boys, especially after the previous day's display have kind of fallen in line behind Ironjawz. In Orc society, it is very common and typical to just kind of follow the biggest, meanest, most violent orc. Because in Orc society, strength is what rules. So if an orc is bigger than you and can beat you up, then he's your superior. And if there's an orc that can beat up every other orc, then he's clearly the boss. So, while it hasn't come to that, because you guys are a bit different than most orc tribes, he definitely has started to emerge as the de facto leader. Of course, that can always change in an orc society at the drop of a hat. There are other knobs as well, other orcs that are bigger than you guys and about as big as him, but whether or not that dynamic changes is up to you. I guess we'll see if that changes. And then, really, as far as what he has been kind of preaching about gaining your freedom, not many orcs have really thought about that. As we talked about in the first session, you guys have always kind of just lived this way. You don't know any other way of life, but there's something in the back of all of your minds that kind of pushes you to be a little bit more aggressive and unruly at times, and with Ironjawz, it definitely seems to affect him the most. So he's definitely of a different temperament than most of you guys. So yeah, I guess we'll pick up right there. A lot of the tribe is buying into what he's saying, and it seems like it's only a matter of time before things might bubble over. What do the four of you do during this time?
What would Peppa be doing? He would just be working on bodies. Maybe trying to find some good cybernetics he can work with Ed Aka to instill in random grots and other orcs.
All right. Everybody else?
I think Locktar would kind of be, kind of, I guess, walking around through the different, like, orc structures that we have and kind of listening to see kind of how everybody else has been feeling since the big fight.
Mm-hmm.
And since Ironjawz has been kind of like talking more, kind of see what everybody else's feelings are.
All right.
I think Grave Squatch. I think Chris, you said now that I got the the headgear, my mask doesn't fit anymore.
Correct. Yeah, it's too bulky and it just takes up too much room.
Okay. I think Grave Scorcher would spend time then trying to fashion maybe at least goggles or, break off components of the mask so it'll fit.
Okay. Makes sense. Head Hacker, how about you?
I'm trying to think of ways to further experiment on the stone. And I don't want to necessarily mess with Shorn Scar. But I might bring Zingits in and see what he thinks. And whether or not he knows if there are any other, I don't know, sort of brainy types on board.
Okay. Well, Peppa, so you, we'll make this really simple. Why don't you give me we'll pull up a character sheet here. Why don't you give me a survival test? No, give me a investigation test to see if you can find some good scrap or components.
Right.
What you want to do here.
2 successes.
I'll be sure you all reset your wrath too, by the way, if you haven't already.
Good point, good point.
Alright, so that is a failure. So, yeah, you're not able to find anything that's going to be beyond anything you're normally working with, so it's the usual junk. I'm sure you might tinker with a couple patience here and there, but nothing groundbreaking or out of the ordinary.
Gotcha.
Loktar, if you want to give me a, let's see, probably I guess an investigation. So you're kind of listening in on people. Yeah, there's no perception skill, so. Or insight, if that's higher for you. Either one.
Oh, insight was higher.
Okay, just roll extra dice, however many more you need.
You.
2 successes. Do you want to burn a wrath, or well, you don't have any glory yet?
No.
So. Okay.
No.
So what you can tell is not a lot of people are talking about it openly. It seems like the fear of the Rogue Trader and, you know, kind of her iron grip on the ship and on your guys' whole society and culture is still very much fresh in the orc minds. You can tell that the attitude of the tribe has definitely shifted, and over the next couple days, there's a lot more incidents where orcs are having, you know, outbursts, there's fights, and occasionally the guards of the ship are having to come in and try to break these up and deal with them, especially when you guys are, you know, maybe they have a team of your orcs sent to another part of the ship to work on something, which happens occasionally. You know, they're getting a little bit out of line, and the guards are having to put down the law. So there's a bit of fear in the tribe, it feels like, but you feel like there's probably something. All of you are kind of feeling it, like I said, in the back of your mind, that something's building up, but it seems like maybe some sort of catalyst might be needed to try to push things in one direction or the other.
Now, when guards come to break up these fights, like, what are they armed with? What are they using?
So, are you familiar with the enforcer figures for Necromunda?
Yes.
So they look a lot like that. They basically look like riot cops. They've got full carapace armor that covers them pretty much from head to toe. I mean, we're talking like almost the grade of Imperial Guard Kasserkin carapace. You know, it's full armor, about as good as you can get, you know, before you get to power armor. And they often have shock mauls of some sort. Basically the 40k equivalent of like a cattle prod. They've also a lot of times will have riot shields, especially if they actually have to come into the warp drive place. There's usually at least 2 or 3 guards that'll have riot shields, and they kind of act as like a wall for whoever they're escorting. So like, for example, when the commissar came in here, the guards that were with her all had riot shields, and they kind of formed like a bodyguard around her. And you've also noticed that the guards are obviously a little bit more tense recently because of all these outbursts of violence. Before, it's just kind of like, they're the guards, they have weapons, the orcs don't really fuck with them too much. But now it's like the guards seem to be more alert and, you know, on guard for what's happening. They also have firearms. Mostly they have like stub type weapons, you know, stub guns and things like that, shotguns.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, no real, maybe occasional las weapon here and there, but it's mostly slug type weapons. Grape Scorcher, why don't you give me a tech test and see if you can build yourself something for goggles, or try to jury rig your mask so that you can actually still wear it.
Ooh, okay. Here we go.
That looks good, maybe? I don't know, what do you got?
5 successes, 2 failures, and a complication.
5 successes. Well, that's pretty good. Oh yeah, you do. Okay. Well, you can shift if you'd like, because it's only DN3. If you want to shift either for this test or for glory, you may do so.
What would it do for this test?
Remember, you can shift to what was it? Make it better, make it faster, make it take get more information.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, let's do make it better. So just shift. That would be just shift.
Yeah, so you use
Okay.
up to 6. Okay. And then a
And then
complication.
roll for that.
Oh boy. All right. Yeah. Lost item. Oh. Okay.
Well, I mean, I'm kind of losing some of my mask.
Let's see. What do you have on you?
I don't got a lot of shit.
I'll tell you. Okay, I know what's gonna happen here. So,
I jam a stick bomb.
you know. Well, remember, most of your weapons are kept in lock.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
So,
Yeah.
but I have an idea for that. That'll come up later.
Okay.
But you do not only make a new mask that actually works around your headgear that Peppa so graciously gave you. With your shift, you're able to do it so well that the headgear is kind of lost in the mask, and it looks like it's part of it rather than this goofy thing that's strapped to your head. As long as you keep the mask on, it looks like it's part of it and actually clicks together almost like it was meant to be.
Oh yeah, that thing's not coming off anymore.
And Head Hacka, so you're talking to Zingitz about this. So he tells you that he's noticed that Shornskar, ever since you guys arrived in this system, has been saying stuff like he's seeing Gork and Mork more, he's hearing them more, and he seems a little bit more twitchy than normal. He's not sure if it has something to do with the stone, but he does note he noticed that ever since you guys got here.
And that's like got into the system in space and not necessarily the operation and us coming back.
Yeah, that's what he's referring to, the star system.
Interesting.
Let me see. Other than that, I mean, I'll make a roll for him and see if he knows anything else. Unlikely, though. Nope.
No.
Anything else that you ask him?
No, I don't know if I have any bright ideas of the stone. Well, last time we struck it, Sean Scar had quite a reaction. I'm thinking maybe there's others aboard who we might want to test against.
Well, yeah, I mean, of course there is, but, I mean, you'd have to, like, get what's her face in here, Cartren, she's kind of like showing Scar. There's the Navigator too, but he never leaves his little bubble. I don't think he's gonna come down here.
Right. Well, maybe we'll just keep it under lock for now.
He seems to agree with that. He says, I've been hearing something else, boss. I've been hearing from the pipeline that they might be planning to send someone, probably us, back down planet side. I think that there's more of this stuff down there that they really want to get their hands on.
It's always interesting.
Yeah, but here's the thing though: is those red robes that you took out that were trying to bust up the shuttle?
Them probably.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, right? So, Octarius, he's part of that Mechanicum, and so are those guys. So it's kind of like they're fighting each other. And they're supposed to be on the same side, though, right? So, from what I gathered, little mechanical birdie told me is, I think this is kind of like on the DL, and they don't want them down there to know that we're up here and that we're gonna go down there and take their stuff. But it sounds also like the guys down there
we're trying to make sure that nobody else, anywhere that weren't down there, knew about the stuff down there. You catch my drift?
Maybe.
Well, I'll see if I can dig up anything else. Some of my boys can get into places that you guys can't, so maybe, maybe I'll see what we can find out for you.
We're keeping an ear to the ground. Thank you.
And he gives you a little salute and marches out of your workshop.
That's good info.
At any point, do the group of you gather to discuss any of these things going on, or is there anything else that you guys do in the meantime?
I mean, I would probably talk to Edaka when I'm looking for like cyber stuff to implant in orcs, but I'm not even really aware of like the little rocks. So other than the cyborg stuff, that's about it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think in a passing chat, I would mention we might be going planetoid again soon.
Hey, let's go.
Hey, I think there's more down there. Probably more the red boys, the tech fellas.
Didn't even really get to look at one.
Hey, they went down quick. Maybe there's bigger ones about.
Yeah, get a good fight. Maybe I can take pieces of them and put them in orcs.
Maybe. As many tubes and lenses.
Yeah, a new orc, a new cyborg. Yeah. When are we going?
Wish I knew. I think it's just rumors. We haven't left the system yet, so someone's got to do something.
Always us, though.
Who else would it be?
Yeah.
Some shut-ins.
Yeah. Maybe they'll just send a bunch of the grass.
They'll just try to eat everything.
Don't blame them. Don't blame them.
Well, any news on your projects?
Fucked them all up.
Ah,
Nothing's working.
shame.
Yep, just gotta keep trying. On the prowl for a new, patient. So, if you see a sleeping orc, let me know.
Can you do?
So it is during this time, over the next day or two after you guys get back from the moon, that you once again hear Ironjawz riling up some of the tribe. And it seems as time has gone on, he's gotten a little bit more preachy. He's usually isn't much for words. He's usually pretty direct. But you have noticed that recently he's been getting a lot more talkative, and you often find him kind of telling any orc who will listen his thoughts, and he's getting much more vocal about his plans and his ideas here. And when word comes through Zingits that you guys might be sent back down there, and he discovers that something about this Blackstone the Rouge Trader is interested in getting her hands on, and that there might be this kind of schism with the Adeptus Mechanicus and Octarius in some regards. Ironjawz gets a lot more vocal with his discrepancies and his grievances, I should say, his grievances. Headhacka, tell me, I guess this would be a question for all of you. How much do you want Zingits and his grots to try to find out? Like, more than they usually do, or just kind of what they hear in passing? Do you want them to go out of their way or perhaps put themselves in danger to try to get any more information?
Also, I was leaning towards kind of going with the flow. If we are being sent planet side, that's where all the interesting stuff's gonna happen. So they get more info that's like, I don't know, what would we do about it, necessarily? Like,
Yeah, I'd be a little concerned if like there is more uproar, that they would draw even more attention to themselves.
All right.
So kind of just like normal.
Peppa and Gravescorcher, do you guys have any thoughts on that?
Yeah. If they're gonna find out information, that's definitely helpful. But Peppa doesn't really care if they get hurt. He'll just fix them up. So yeah, they can risk their life for it.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Gravescorcher would totally encourage them to go, all out, because it would be so funny if they got hurt.
All right. Well, let's see what they're able to find for you guys. Okay. Well, Zingitz does tell you that one of the grots he sent out never comes back. Probably lost in a bowel of the ship somewhere. But he is able to get you guys more information. You're not sure how. He never tells you how he does this stuff. But he's usually fairly reliable with it, so you just kind of let him do what he does. He explains to you that apparently there are a couple colonies down on the moon, and the Adeptus Mechanicus run those colonies. The Adeptus Mechanicus that are on said colonies discovered places that have blackstone on down like in caves and where they've been excavating and things of that nature. Hold on, let me get the notes for the that moon. I got too many files, as always. So what he's able to tell you is that, and again, you're not sure how he gets this, but apparently the Adeptus Mechanicus down on the moon have discovered deposits of blackstone, and they have kept it secret, or tried to, from anyone else. Somehow, Octarius learned about this and brought it to the Rogue Trader's attention, and they've decided that it is worth the risk to try to get some for themselves. He's also able to find out that this blackstone stuff apparently really messes with the powers of the warp. Obviously he would describe it as your weird boys or your warp heads, things like that. But in layman's terms, blackstone has the capability to neutralize or disrupt psychic powers. And for whatever reason, they want it. He seems to think and piece together that this stuff is probably fairly rare and pretty valuable because of how it works. And, there's some theories that the tech priest seems to have for what they can use it for. You're not sure about the whole political structure as far as, what they're risking or what the Rogue Trader's influence might be, if she can even do this, if she's breaking the law, or if she's kind of skirting a gray area. Obviously, she doesn't really seem to want to go head-to-head with any open conflict, but it seems she's willing to risk a couple things here. And obviously, it seems like it's going to be risking you guys to, as usual, do the heavy lifting and possibly take the brunt of the blame if anything should go wrong. And that seems to be about the gist of what he finds out. Oh, he also finds out that apparently this whole system has all sorts of warp turbulence, and that seems to be what's causing the issues that Shornscar's been having, and is supposedly explains for some of the warp anomalies you guys have experienced over the last couple days, like the grot with the glowing eyes and the demonic voice and all that stuff. Seems to be just a trait of the entire star system. Now, when Ironjawz hears about this, he is fairly furious, and again, he spins it as, typical, the Rogue Trader is going to make us do all the work, make us do their fighting, and he's none too happy about it. And that starts to get a lot of the orcs riled up again. Is there anything you guys would do or inquire while this is going on?
I guess I'd inquire about other warp turbulence incidents beyond the ones that we experience, if there's any.
Zingitz explains it as just weird anomalies that are happening. Apparently, warp travel is a little bit more dangerous going through this system, entering and leaving it, than it is in other places. It's interfering with some of the ship systems, and apparently there was a radiation burst. That is what messed up the ship and the communications when you guys were down on the planet, and it appears that's something they have to deal with as well.
Nice.
I guess Peppa would ask, so are we gonna fight back or just keep fighting for them?
I guess it's I guess at this point it's you four kind of discussing this.
Yeah.
You can. You guys can discuss, and I'll tell you what happens next.
The way I see it, the only time we can really fight back is when we have our weapons. So maybe when they let us out to go down there, when we come back, take over the ship and just start killing humans. Open up the doors, get all our old brothers out.
For a big scrap, though, since they only let us out with, I guess, the gear for the party planet side. If we could figure out a way to sneak some additional guns and choppers out to the general pub, we could really make a big splash.
Wouldn't take much. They don't have much for gear when they come in for us. We're still bigger than Humies. Stronger than Humies.
And you get up behind one of them, just...
I am still itching to pop a head off.
We saw what happened the last time you tried that.
But that was what that guy said about the warp stuff.
Anomalies.
Not Humies. Humies don't do that.
So, as you guys are sitting in Headhacker's workshop, you can hear some commotion from outside.
I'll go take a look.
You see that once again, a little fight club. Well, not so little anymore. There's quite a few orcs gathering. Another fight club circle has started, and you see that once again, Ironjawz is in the thick of it. Only this time, you see that there are two knobs that have challenged him. You know that these two knobs are pretty good friends. They kind of go everywhere together, and it looks like they are both kind of challenging him. And as usual, Ironjawz does knock back down and seems to have no fear or concern for his own personal safety, and his pent-up frustration is about to be unleashed. Once again, you see Zingitz and some of the Grots taking bets for people, and you see that this is probably the biggest gathering of orcs you've seen. They're up on pipes and parts of the structures, looking down, watching, throwing stuff into the ring, quote unquote. Everybody's pushing to try to get to the front, and as usual, you see Shornscar kind of off to the side, standing on top of some scrap. So he has a look over the heads of the crowd. You see him, as usual, very eagerly watching to see what happens. And Peppa, one of your orderlies, comes running by and he shouts like, "They're at it again! You're not gonna want to miss this."
Let's go get us some new patients, boys. And I'll go watch and place a bet on our boy, our leader.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Grave Scorcher will also take a bet.
Okay. Well, this time you see these two orcs who, fairly large, together they make quite the formidable mass of muscle, and you see one of them is like, "Oh, this is it, Ironjawz. We're gonna shut you up for good." And the other one says, "Yeah, we're done with you. We's taking over. Boys are gonna listen to us. You's just gonna send us to ruin. No good scraps. All your dumb cunning plans, they ain't nothing." And you see that, as usual, doesn't really seem to faze Ironjawz at all. He just says, "I's gonna crush you just like I did the last one. And then I'm gonna put your skulls on my shoulders and make them into trophies. I'm gonna spend your teeth and I'm gonna rip your guts. And then we's gonna take over this ship." And the scrap begins. Where are my knob stats? Here we go. Whoops. Nope, that's a grot.
Not really a fair fight.
Well, I'm putting one down on our boy, Ironjawz.
Okay. Let's do some initiative here.
Ooh.
All right. So you see these two orcs come from opposite sides, basically flanking Ironjawz, and he's slow to react. They definitely get the drop on him, and they instantly go in, fists swinging, to try to get the advantage here. Okay, so they rush in and they each lock his arms up and start wailing on him. And you see it takes them by surprise as they manage to get the drop on him, and it looks like they're just laying into him. On his turn, oops. Oh god, dice everywhere. On his turn, you see that he headbutts one of the orcs and manages to get his bionic arm loose, and turns, kind of knocks that one away as he staggers back with a crushed nose. And Ironjawz then turns and takes a hella strong punch at this other guy and manages to break free. And they're kind of circling each other at this point. And you can see that Ironjawz is loving it. His eyes have that bloodlust in them that you always see when he's in a fight. And he looks like he wouldn't want to be anywhere else right now. The next bout of fighting, you see that they attack him one at a time, trying to switch up their tactics. The first one rushes in, takes a swing, which Ironjawz very easily just kind of evades. The second one runs in, trying to take advantage of the distraction, and he ends up tripping over the other orc who's kind of lost his footing. And Ironjawz manages to catch him by the throat with his bionic arm as he falls, and he lifts him up, and he starts punching him repeatedly in the gut. You see the one who stumbled tries to get around to help, and he gets up behind Iron Guts and tries to put him in a full Nelson. And you see Iron Guts his eyes turn so red and his arms, his muscles bulge with just absolute pent-up fury. You can actually see steam and sparks coming off of his bionic arm as he stretches it and pushes it to the limit. And you see that he just crushes the one knob's throat in his hand, and you all hear this audible crack as he snaps the knob's neck and just throws the body to the ground, which gets a huge cheer and rouse from the rest of the tribe. Oh boy. Yeah. The one that's got him in the full Nelson, you see, tries to do some sort of fancy maneuver, and as he brings his arm around to try to either punch or stab him or whatever, he ends up getting his hand impaled on one of the spikes on Ironjawz's shoulder plate, and he screams in pain as Ironjawz just wrenches his shoulder to the side, and you see the spike gets ripped through this guy's hand, and basically his hand splits up the middle to where it's no longer, his palm is completely split right to where the fingers meet, and his hand just kind of flops open. And oh my god, another Ironjawz scored 3 criticals in a row.
Hey.
Well, it's giving me ruin every time he scores a critical too. That's not supposed to happen.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're at like 8, or you're at 9 ruin now.
Yeah. Also, the patch messed up. The plus and minus signs don't work for glory and ruin anymore. That's cool. You gotta manually enter them now. Thanks, Foundry. Well, in a absolute display of violence and gore, Ironjawz grabs the guy by his broken, messed up arm and throws him to the ground, and with a disturbing display of strength, just rips the arm clean off and begins to beat this orc to death with his own arm until there's nothing but a green, bloody pulp on the ground. Orcs are cheering, teeth are being thrown as money's being paid out. And you can see this fervor come across the tribe that none of you have ever really seen before. As the cheering continues, Ironjawz stands on top of the broken forms of these two. I told yous all, I's the boss around here. We's done working for these humies. We's done doing all their work. All they do is send us down, do their fighting, 'cause they can't do it themselves. Well, that's all about to change. And there are many cheers and shouting as the tribe celebrates his victory. It becomes clear to you all, it almost seems like he's growing in front of your very eyes after this display of violence. And it becomes very clear that there's probably no one else in the tribe that can even put up a fight or challenge Ironjawz at this point. And you see, it's typical in orc culture, none of the orcs seem too bothered about this. They all seem really excited that Ironjawz is going to lead you guys to some great scraps, and, well, he's the biggest and the baddest, so clearly whatever he's saying must be the way to go. How did the 4 of you react to this?
Peppa would be right with the boys cheering, and then once, he'd take his money from his earnings and just be riding the wave of orc happiness, I guess. Excitement.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, Grave Scorcher would be right in the front lines with the boys cheering and getting his money.
Okay.
I'd also be cheering with the rest, with kind of an open eye to see if there's any anyone who wasn't, maybe?
No, it seems at this point, the natural instincts of the orcs seem to be taking over and uprooting the years of neglect and abuse that the tribe has been suffering.
Oh yeah. Cheering on this end as well. We're gonna blow something up.
Love it. Well, for the two of you that bet, you get another point of wealth as the teeth come pouring in, and yeah, it's very clear that things are gonna get underway here, and as all of that dies down, a little while later, Ironjawz stomps over to the four of you, and he says, "Get your group together. We's got plans to make."
Hi, boss.
And a little while later, the four of you, along with Zingitz and Shornscar and a couple other orcs here and there, some of the knobs and things like that, are basically in what has become like a makeshift throne room for Ironjawz, complete with a throne of scrap, as any good boss would have. And Ironjawz looks at the four of you as you come in with barely contained rage, as he usually has. He says, "All right, you lot. It's time we stop taking orders. This ship's gonna be ours, and you's gonna help me get it."
Sounds good.
And Shornscar speaks up. "There's a lot to consider here. What we need to do, what must come to pass. We need to come up with a plan. We need our gear, we need our weapons. There's lots others on this ship, not just the Rouge Trader." And at that point, Zingitz climbs up. There's like a table that they've set up, and he climbs up on the table and he says, "Yeah, look, I've been stashing this stuff for a while, and well, I don't want to reveal all my tricks, but suffice to say, I've put together a map of the ship, roughly. I mean, it's a big ship. You'd be surprised how big this thing is. Well, I figure this might come in handy." And he kind of looks approvingly to Ironjawz, who just gives a nod, and he throws a map on the table. And I'm just gonna put this out. This kind of breaks down what your ship kind of looks like, diagram-wise.
I don't have a token.
Oh, motherfucker! Hold on. One day, Foundry, you will work here. Unrestricted vision. That's what we need. That work?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Ooh, that's cool.
Wow. Wow.
Now, obviously, his diagram is nowhere near as nice as what you're looking at, but it's obviously much more orky and crude. But it conveys the same basic information. It's a layout of the ship with places pointed out of various locations on the ship and things that are important for what to know. And he points, he's like, "Okay, so this right here, this is where we're at, okay? We've got this big area, and then, well, the bridge is up here. The bridge is where, they make all the decisions and they command everything from. The Rouge Trader's up there in her fancy chair, and, usually the others are with her.
And, we got the engines in the back. We got the fields, the G fields. I guess those protect us from the warp. They say. I don't really know why we need those, but yeah, I guess we do. There's some bits and bobs up here, for the radios and the voxes and the transmissions and all that. We got guns on the side, lots of big guns, so that's good. The torpedo tubes are up in front over here. I don't know why they didn't draw them, but yeah, there's a bunch of holes that shoot other stuff out. What else? Oh, and this little dot right here, yeah, that's like what your shuttle looks like. So just to give you some reference, if you can't get your minds around how big this thing is.
Well, be damned.
And he, continues to point out like other things, but as you guys can see here, there's quite a lot to consider. I think what we needs to do is come up with a plan. And he kind of looks over to you, Loktar, being a blood axe, knowing that you're probably one of the more tactical orcs in the group. Clearly, it's not Ironjawz' forte.
Tactical.
He's like, yeah. Well, if you have any questions about any of this stuff, I could probably tell you what it is, or guess. I can get my boys pretty much anywhere if we need be. There's a benefit to being small like Weez is.
What else is on the ship? You said it was not just the Rouge Trader and her crew.
Oh no, there's lots of other things. There's let me get my other list out here. Hold on. Is it this one? Oh, there we go. Yeah, it's probably this one that's 34 pages. Hold on. Yeah, let's just see. Let's just carry the 9 and yeah, here we go. Oh, they got there's these big guys. I mean, we're talking like Ironjawz big. But they're like the Umis. They're like big Umis. There's a couple of them. There's not many. Maybe. And he like starts counting and realizes he doesn't have enough fingers. He's like, well, there's more than that. But yeah, they do a lot of the heavy lifting over in the macro batteries. They load a lot of the actual ammunition and things like that. They don't seem too clever. But yeah, I guess they probably swing a wrench pretty hard if need be. There's also like little Umis. They got like these big buggy eyes, and they don't wear shoes ever. They got these furry feet too, and bushy like side hair on their face. I've never seen anything like it. But they help out a lot in the engine room next door. In the engineering decks, they can get the little places too where the regular Umis can't, and they seem to have a knack for some of the tech stuff and moving around pretty quiet. I guess kind of like the Grots here. Let's see what else. Oh, there's these tall, lanky creatures. They got like this weird hair. It's like spiky hair that goes out the back of their heads. But it's not like hair. It's different. And they got these weird like beak-like mouths. Like 3 fingers, I think. 3, 4. I don't know. But they help out too on the gun crews a lot. They seem pretty strong and pretty fast too. But yeah, they talk really weird. They like squawk, like one of them birds we saw that one time. Let's see what else. Oh, and there's these blue boys. Yeah. Can you believe that? They're blue. And he points to like one of the death skulls, like your face paint or your armor or whatever. He's like, but their skin is like that, and they don't got no noses. It's a flat face, and their feet are like hooves, like a like a thing with a hoof for a foot. And yeah, they seem pretty quiet from what we can tell. They work up in the where is it? They work up in the census stations mostly. They seem to know a little bit about tech too, and I've seen them fly a few ships here and there, or so I'm told. Now there are no actual fighter and bomber wings like this shows here, so that's not actually on your ship. That'd probably just be replaced by like shuttle hangars. You guys don't actually have fighters and bombers on your wings.
Damn.
And let's see what else. There's these other Umis, right? They're all like scarred, and their skin's all messed up, and they got all these weird markings on them. It's kind of like how like they gave like some of the other guys like numbers, but it's like in their skin or like part of their skin. And those guys, they're always in chains. Like they don't take any chances with them. They work over back in the engine or the plasma or we're in the plasma drive. The part behind us, the part that the drive connects to the other thing. They do like some of the real dangerous stuff. They've got to like fix the engines when it goes wrong and climb in there, and if there's like repairs on the outside of the ship, they go out there and do it. They may or may not get a suit when they do it. Yeah, the Rouge Trader doesn't seem to really care too much about them. But you want to talk about oppressed? Oh, those guys are oppressed. What else have I seen? Oh, so the Rouge Trader's one guy, the really tall one with the pointy ears. Well, I've seen some of them too, but I don't think they're part of like his gang. They work by the main power source, the capacitors, and the transformers. Though they also help out up in the Gela fields too. They help keep that stuff operational. And he rattles on like a few other things. There's obviously there's humans that have been enslaved as well to varying degrees, and other creatures. Oh, he's like, oh yeah, I forgot. There's rats. There's rats as big as you and I, but they're people rats, like rat people. They have these long noses and these tails. They wear these weird, creepy hoods, and they scuttle around. Heard the Rouge Trader once use the term other nocturnal creatures. I don't know what that means, but they're all over the place. There's all sorts of stuff here, guys. And I don't think many of them are too happy to be here either.
They're locked up like us.
Oh yeah, you bet. Yeah, some more than others. Like I said, there's those guys in the chains. Yeah, they got the worst of it.
Well, after we take over the ship, we're just gonna kill them all anyway, right?
Well,
first.
I mean, yeah, look, we're gonna need a lot more boys if we're gonna take over this whole ship and man it ourselves. And he kind of like looks around like at the tribe, and he's like, we can control a few things, but you need a lot of boys, a lot. So if you kill everybody on the ship, it's gonna be real hard to fly this thing. I mean, not to say we can't get more boys eventually, but just food for thought.
Yeah, makes sense.
Almost
They're like us. They might want to fight too.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Go ahead.
If they're chained like us, they might be looking for a scrap too.
Yeah. Oh, shipwide prison break?
To that end, I wanted to ask where the armory is in relation to the shuttle launch when we go planet side.
Oh, it's not too far. We can get you there. It's just a few corridors down. It's kind of on the way, at least where they keep our stuff. There's also down beneath all the guns. Each one of them has a separate hangar where they keep all the extra ammunition and that kind of gear. And there's a main hallway up on top. I mean, there's lots around here. You're gonna get lost if you just start wandering around. But there's one that goes all the way from pretty much the front to the back of the ship, up on top, more or less. There's even windows. You believe that? There's window. You can see outside into space. Crazy.
Good thing we have our guide.
He looks like impressed about that, but also a little nervous. Like he might actually have to be in danger. Yeah. So I mean, that's yeah. There's other stuff if you want to know, but that's the main. That's the main gist of it. Our ship doesn't have these guns. What's his name? Gearhead, whatever his name is. He got a little carried away. He wanted the ship to have guns. So maybe we could put that on after we take it over, but it doesn't have those right now. Yeah, something about power regulations or something. I'm sure we could fix that.
Like on the front here, it says illuminate whole cities. Is that a euphemism?
I don't know what that word means, but probably.
So, when are we doing this?
He kind of looks over to Ironjawz for an answer, and Ironjawz just grumbles.
They said we'll go on planet side. Do we want to go after that, or kick one off?
Ironjawz grumbles to you guys, and he says, "How long's this plan gonna take?"
Who's he asking?
He's asking like you guys, and Zin gets to some, but Zin gets kind of defers to you like, "Oh, you guys are the I'm just the grot."
Well, so I'm good at burning, right? But I can't burn if I don't got my burner. So I want my burner first. So we probably do that then, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Because if I don't got my burner, then I can't burn.
Zin looks pleadingly to the three of you like, please come up with a better plan than that.
Well, yeah, I think to that end we do definitely need gear, so we could either A, bust out there as soon as possible, just charge the armory and hope it works out, or B, wait until we are being sent to planet side. They bring us to the guns, and we bust out from there.
Chris, if things like in the warp drive break, do they expect the orcs to fix them, or do they send in like some people to fix them?
So the warp drive and the plasma drive are two different things.
Right. Yeah.
The warp drive is what lets you guys get into the warp, and the plasma drive is your main engine source. So what you guys work on is what controls the basic movement, everyday movement of the ship.
Okay.
you don't need a warp drive to get around. It's just that without a warp drive, you can't enter the warp, so you can't go at above like faster than light speed, basically. So
Right.
it would take forever to get anywhere other than in system.
So I guess my question applies to the plasma batteries or plasma drives.
Mm-hmm.
If something breaks on those, do they expect the orcs to fix it, or do they send in like the engine fears?
Oh
and
no,
stuff?
like it's a weird dynamic where you guys have kind of become the plasma drive experts because you generally haven't caused too much trouble and obviously the tech priest and stuff comes in every now and then, but you guys have orcified it a little bit and it seems to work. It doesn't really seem to fail that often, so yeah, it's kind of just a weird thing where you guys kind of would be the ones to fix it.
Okay, so sabotaging that is not a good plan then, because they just expect us to fix it anyway.
Yeah, it's kind of, well, you're already locked in there, so fucking make it work.
Right. If you don't fix it, we won't open the doors. So get to it, boys.
Yeah.
Well, I think waiting until they try to take us planet side and then we get access to our weapons is our best shot.
I think it's like, yeah, but there's only going to be the 4 of you. I mean, there might be a few more, but
Yeah.
I mean, what do you do then? I mean, okay, so like, you 4 got your weapons, then what?
Yeah. The only other option is to wait until they bring someone in for some reason and then rush them and rush out the doors, right?
They've been breaking up our fights more. Let's stage a fight at the front.
Yeah, make them try to pacify us. Just all the boys then get stuck in.
Just ship-wide prison riot?
Could work.
I mean, this ship has like a crew of I think 26,000. So, I mean, there's probably at least a couple hundred orcs, if not more. I mean, there's got to be what, at least 1,000? Like,
Those are pretty good numbers. 1,000
I mean,
orcs.
even if each section of this ship has 1,000 people working on it, right? Like, yeah. I would say you number somewhere between 500 to 1,000.
Okay.
We'll call it 750.
750. Easy.
Yeah, I mean, hey, don't look at me. I'm not the boss. You guys come up with the plan. I'm just here to tell you stuff.
Yeah. How did you get this map?
Well, we made it.
Yeah. Your boys can get out onto the regular areas. You're not stuck in here.
Well, like I said, I'm not going to tell you all my secrets. And he just kind of taps the side of his nose.
Yeah.
He's like, why? What are you thinking?
Is there a way for you to start smuggling weapons into us?
Oh, we can. Yeah, we could try that. Yeah, I think we could pull that off.
Okay. Not every boy needs a weapon, We'll pick them up as we start killing people.
Mm-hmm.
But, maybe 10, 20 weapons is a good start. Obviously, get Ironjawz' stuff too, if you can.
We need to get his arm.
Fight our way to the armory, and then from there, just go about killing Yumis.
Yeah, luckily, Ironjawz still has gear on his character sheet.
That's
But,
good.
when I change his stats, nothing happens. So, why would you
boy.
do this to me, game?
Hey, Head Hacker. You build a fist?
We'll load this. Make a
Fist.
gesture to him.
I think Ironjawz is gonna need a fist to get out of here.
Oh, a middle wound.
Well, he has a power claw. It's just that it's it's locked up.
Yeah. Can we build him a new one? Or one?
Oh, you could certainly try. Yeah, I mean you're gonna have to get certain gear, but
Rat claw.
certainly could happen.
It is plausible. We got the metal at least.
Metal makes choppas.
Mm-hmm.
So with that.
So once we got Zing gets us some weapons, we just wait for the next time they send some boys in. Or if Zingets can just find a way to open the door from the outside, if they can get out there.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Say that again. I was looking at something.
Do you know how to open the door from the outside to just let us all out?
I mean, well, maybe we can do it. I mean, I haven't actually tried it before, but I can look into it.
Yeah. And then we just go start liberating people and fucking shit up.
Yeah. Okay.
Any other ideas, boys?
Well, to the ends of liberation, we could also, in advance, perhaps try diplomacy. These other boys, the scarred men. Did you say they were murderous? Maybe they'd be willing to start some trouble for us. With
Oh,
us?
you mean the boys in the chains?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they want to get out. I mean, because they're chained up.
We
That's-
all.
Seems reasonable. So what, you want me to, you want to talk to him? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I don't know exactly how that would go. Wouldn't have seen eye to eye with the other group, see. Just strike up a casual conversation along the water cooler.
I mean, I suppose we could try that. Yeah, well, look, yeah, you tell me what you need me and the boys to do, and I will put some things in place for you, and I'll see what we can do.
Alright, see if you can get us some sluggers.
Okay, sluggers, talk to the other boys, figure out the door. Anything else?
I think that's it.
Okay. All right. Well, look, we're at a halfway point here, so why don't we take our break? And, yeah, take your 5-minute mandated union break, and we'll be right back.
Love me my union break.
Punch out.
But I don't give any breaks to any of my orderlies. They work through their breaks. Standard. Boys PRV.
So, ultimately, it looks like you guys are going to try to do some prep here to launch your attack on the of the rebellion, I should say. So, let me make a couple rolls here for Zingets and his crew. That was a test. Okay, that's working. Okay. Oh, let's see. There's probably gonna be some stealth tests in here. And some survival tests, maybe. And probably some investigation as well. Right. A couple rolls here to see how things are going. Okay, well, they pass their tests. However, there are complications on some of them. So over the next day or so, Zingitz and his boys are very busy sneaking through the ship and trying to get you guys information and whatever they can. They are able to start to get weapons brought in. It's mostly small stuff, mostly melee weapons, knives and cudgels and things like that. The occasional shock maw they're able to steal. As far as firearms, they do get some pistols here and there, but they're having a harder time getting those things. They are able to get you more information, and they're able to make contact with some of these other groups. In particular, the guys in the chains seem eager to help and break out. The large Umis that he described, which are Ogrins, just to make things simple here, they don't really seem to have a leader. It's more like the Rogue Trader's crew kind of just keeps them in check, and they're not really enslaved so much as they just do what they're told. But Zingitz thinks that they're not that clever, and you guys might just be able to outsmart them or try to use some cunning to swing them to your side, confuse them. The small Umis, which are ratlings, are also not fully enslaved. They do enjoy a bit of freedom, but it seems like they would rather not be on this ship at all. Would rather be out of here. The Eldar, the pointy-eared ones, are enslaved, and you find out that they have a vendetta against the Eldar on the Rogue Trader's crew. It seems like maybe they all used to be part of the same crew, and the one that is part of her inner circle, Imlorian is his first name, that maybe he sold them out, or made some sort of deal where he got the rest of them enslaved and he got to walk free, and now he's one of her right-hand men. So they are definitely distrustful of you guys. They don't like the idea of working with the orcs whatsoever, but Zingitz tells you that they definitely have a vendetta against him. You guys might be able to use that. And the blue guys, which are Tau, that work up in the sensor array towards the front of the ship, they definitely are enslaved against their will. They definitely don't have any love for the Rogue Trader, and they want to be free. But they're distrustful of you guys, but not as much as with the Eldar are. Probably because, typically the Tau try to negotiate before they go to war. So whether or not these Tau have ever fought or encountered orcs before, you're not sure, but that seems to kind of be their idea, is maybe, they don't necessarily trust you, but they're willing to try to see if you guys can work something out before completely writing you off. And then the tall, lanky, weird-haired guys, those are Kroot. Which you find out often work alongside the Tau in their armies. having a hard time communicating with them, but they definitely are enslaved here as well. You're not sure if you guys would be able to really effectively communicate with them or control them, but you're pretty sure if they had the opportunity, they would try to fight and get themselves free. With the complications, though, so let's roll and see what the game says about these. All right. So one of the things that happens is that there are still some orcs in the tribe that are not keen on this. There's some that are definitely afraid of lashing out against the Rogue Trader and worried what's going to happen, and they don't think it's a good idea. So there is still a minority of the tribe that is not working in unison with you guys, and that could cause problems if it's not dealt with. The second thing is that many of the grots go missing or get caught and are obviously executed and dealt with, and security becomes a lot tighter. And it gets to the point where Zingitz and his boys are really going to have a hard time doing anything else to help you prep until you're ready to kind of make your moves. So, how would you like to proceed?
We probably need to go get those other orcs in line first.
That's probably a good place to start. I was getting ready to ask if anybody has any any fellowship or diplomacy or anything, if they wanted to act as liaison to any of the other, I guess, onboard factions, but I think we will try to.
I would wager that most of us probably have a fellowship of 1.
That seems likely.
Did anyone put any points into persuasion? Because mine is also 1.
I got a fellowship of 2.
Oh,
Nice. You're our guy.
And a persuasion of 2.
Well. Look at you, Mr. Handsome Orc. Why don't
All
you
right.
go and talk to them?
Yep, same here.
Wait,
Oh
really?
my
Why
God.
both of you guys? You guys work together. Fucking do it, boys.
By our powers combined, we make one semi-competent negotiator. Oh, brilliant. Well, time to put that cunning to the... Are you brutally cunning or cunningly brutal? Now's the time to find out.
Fellowship by intimidation.
That's true.
You will be my friend, regardless of if you like it or not.
Okay, well, you want to deal with the orcs first. So, as I said, most of them, it seems like they are basically scared to work against the Rogue Trader. But, you know, occasionally they do convince some other orcs that Ironjaw's plan is crazy and that you guys should just stick with the status quo. How would you guys like to go about resolving that?
Up to you two talkers, so good luck.
I think if we're dealing with orcs, though, it's different.
Orcs can use their strength when negotiating with other orcs.
Oh.
That's the... I think it's might makes right. Is that the name of the...
Bigger is
Bigger.
better.
That's it.
Okay.
Well, that's when you make an influence test, which technically, you know, could be used for dealing with orc society, or I guess trying to convince people.
Does that work for just within orc society?
Well, yeah, that's the idea with it.
Makes sense.
Let me... Let's see if this is working.
It's not probably a lot of official crossover material.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really.
Yeah, it's mostly just for dealing with orc society.
Well, Grave Squatch has got Big A's Beta, so.
All of you have that. That's an orc thing.
Oh, okay. So we all got it. I mean, yeah. Why don't we just kind of punch it into them?
Okay. I mean, you guys just want to go and crack some skulls and like kind of force them to submit.
Definitely an option.
You tell me. This is your guys' decision.
When Ironjawz had his big fight, everyone on board. Maybe we need a show of force.
Want to challenge one of them, like their de facto leader, to a fight?
That's definitely a possibility.
I mean, yeah. I guess we'll go with that if that's what you guys want to do.
Seems like the most straightforward path, but I also was gonna say, did any of us just do? Is there a big guy in the group, or if we all kind of leaned into ballistic skills and things of that nature?
Yeah, I'm ballistic skill based, ballistics and healing. So
That's
Yeah,
kinda what I did.
ballistics and weapons. I'm at a. Yeah.
What do you mean when you say big guy, Matt?
Oh, I just mean have a lot of
Punchy.
points in strength.
A melee character?
Yeah, basically.
that's the word.
I don't know. Eric? Are
Maybe
you
you
more
would make a
melee
melee
or
character.
ballistic skill based? Are you guns or knives or both? I don't know. You tell me.
I guess I'm both.
All right. Well, it looks like you're our duelist.
Well, what's considered melee weapon skill or strength?
Both.
There's no weapon skill.
Both.
Is there?
Well, yeah, weapon skills the skill
Oh,
check
weapon
that
skill.
you'll make, but
Oh, okay.
that's going to be based off your initiative.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Melee weapon skill is how many dice you roll when you're fighting in close combat, and strength is added to your damage of close combat weapon.
okay.
That's why close combat weapons tend to have low damage, because you add your strength, whereas guns just have a flat damage because you don't add anything to it. You don't have any melee weapons though, so I guess that's probably why that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay.
So, Eric, you're more melee based.
I mean, I'm both. I'm equal in both of them.
Okay, so yeah, I've got a weapon skill of 2 and a strength of 3, so it's definitely not me.
That's where I'm at as well.
Well, I guess it's me.
I got a
Yep.
weapon skill of 7 and a strength of 4.
Oh,
Well,
you will
I mean,
weapon
you're
skill
more
of
than
7.
me.
Oh, So
All
great.
right,
Grave Scorcha.
all right, go
Is-
scorch their grave.
Okay.
You got me beat a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there
so
any-
who's-
Any preparation you make before you go do this?
Gee. Well, let's see. I am a dirty fighter, so maybe is there a way, can someone get me like a shiv?
Yeah, can we fashion some rudimentary weapons, or at least brass
we got
knuckles
a
or
few.
something?
We got a few that were snuck in.
Yeah, I mean, you guys could have like some basic stuff they snuck in, like a choppa or a slugga, if you want something like that. If you know, something more specialized, we're gonna have to do a roll here. I mean, the other thing too, this is where, what is it? Let's actually use the rules for the game. Imagine that.
Wealth,
Yeah, I'm just,
the requisition stuff.
yeah, I gotta find it here. And here we go, requisitioning war gear.
This will be the first time using that in the new system. I'm curious to see how it changed.
Yeah, okay. So, unlike other RPGs, guys, you don't just have like gold and you go buy shit, right? The idea is that you use your influence. You make an influence test to try to accumulate and gather gear and stuff, and that represents you either shopping or working within a society or some place, where there's a civilization of some sort to try to source equipment and materials. So I'll just read the rules here so you guys can see. Do you guys have access to this in the rules or not? I don't remember if I gave you access. I think I did. No. Okay. So requisitioning war gear. Whenever you are in a civilized location, you can make an influence test to attempt to acquire a piece of war gear. The value of the war gear determines the base DN of the influence test, which is modified by the rarity of the war gear. To make an influence test, you must share at least one keyword with the piece of war gear, and for every matching keyword beyond the first, you gain one extra bonus die to your test. If you fail the test, you may spend wealth to add icons to your result. Each point of wealth you spend earns one icon. And that represents you actually using your wealth to bribe and purchase or sweeten the deal. If you roll a complication on the influence test, you lose one wealth. The idea there being that you get mishaggled, or you get the trade doesn't go in your favor. You got to spend more than you were hoping to. You may make one influence test to acquire war gear each session, and one influence test to acquire ammunition each session. Whether you choose to roleplay the process of finding a seller, negotiating a price, or just roll and move on, the act of acquiring war gear takes considerable time. So yeah, I think this would be a time to do that. So what do you want to try to get? I guess, Kyle, is the big thing here.
Oh,
Let me ask, did I share the rulebook with you guys, the PDF? I don't remember.
I don't think so.
I never put it in a Dropbox or anything for you?
I don't think so for this one. We just have the snippets in Foundry.
Ooh, okay. Well, I think I can give you guys access to the war gear. So let's... I got so many folders. Yeah, so, Sean, to answer your question, this definitely is far more clear-cut than the last edition. So the base DN of the influence test is just equal to the value of the item. So, for example, a big choppa is value 4, which means the DN is 4. And then the rarity modifies it. And there's a very simple chart. So if it's common, there's no penalty. And then it goes up by 1 for each rarity beyond that. So a big choppa is rare, which means it would be +2 to the DN, so it'll be a total DN of 6.
That's rough.
Well,
It goes 1, 2, 3, 4 for uncommon, rare, very rare, and unique.
okay, so I guess we're going for that choppa.
Understandable.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
And
I
then-
don't even have,
So you make an influence test.
Okay.
And is influence a skill on your guys' character sheet anywhere?
It's on the gear tab. It's on the left side.
Okay. And because you guys are orcs, you can use strength, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, strength instead of fellowship.
Okay.
Okay, let me just double check one thing here. Test. Other tests, maybe? Is that... here we go. Influence tests. Okay. You can use your position or reputation to order other members of your culture to do things for you. Through influence tests, you can conduct far-reaching investigations, direct the actions of organizations, order assassinations, and much more. If you want to call in a favor or pull rank to get something you want done, use an influence test. Influence can also be used to requisition items and war gear. To make an influence test, tell the GM what orders you're giving, figure out which individual organization you want to carry out the task and exactly what you want them to do.
The GM will use this information to establish the DN of the test based on the influence someone would need to wield to get that order. You must share at least one keyword with the individual organization you're trying to influence, and for every additional keyword beyond the first, you gain a +1 bonus. Once you've established any DN and bonuses, roll your influence against the DN. Complication and shifts apply as normal. If you succeed, your orders fulfilled to the best of their abilities. If you fail, it means they've defied your wishes or are unable to carry out the request right now. After you've rolled an influence test, you may spend wealth to add icons to the result. Each point of wealth earns you an additional icon, just like with bribery, with the other stuff. So, and here's a cool picture, because why not? Not sure
Nice.
what it is, but, it's 40k.
Yeah.
Sweet.
That picture is to get you psyched up to make your roll here, Kyle. That's for you.
Sweet. Nice. I appreciate it. It's for our listeners. There's a couple dudes at the bottom right looking up at this floating
Thing.
cathedral
Church
thingy,
ship.
Bob.
Yeah, I have no idea what it's supposed to be to honest.
Got a big
it's
angel
all-
statue at the
It's all
front.
spooky and
Yes.
smoky and really cool.
Looks
And
like
they're
a
like,
cathedral
"Oh,
almost.
fuck."
Yeah.
So, because you're an orc, you can use your strength instead of your influence for this.
Okay.
So that's how many dice you'll roll.
Okay.
And yeah, it's only you're going for the choppa, you said?
Just a regular chopper, yeah. So 2.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Here we go.
That is
All right.
3 successes. So
All right.
you've got it. Okay. Are you able to take a choppa and put it on your character sheet?
We're gonna give that a shot.
See if that works.
I'm gonna move these around. Okay.
Did it work?
Here, I'm about to do it. Yep, it's on there.
Okay, so what's the plan? Go find the de facto leader of the naysayers?
Challenge him to a duel and kill him, I guess.
Okay, well, you discover that is an orc named Durzgot. What do you say, or how do you approach this? Tell me what you guys are doing exactly.
Gonna leave it up to the talkers and the murderers here.
Yeah, I think Grave Scorcher would like kind of look at all 3 of them and just go, so I just goes up and kill this guy, yeah?
I guess, yeah. Maybe just say something about needing to fight for orc supremacy or something.
Say, it appears you don't like the direction we're headed. You've got a better plan. Take it up with us.
Yeah, I think that works much better than what I said.
Are you taking notes, Grave Scorcher?
Oh, all right, yeah. Are we so like we're over by where sorry, what's his name again?
Yeah, and you can Durzgots is his name.
Durzgots. Okay. I'll write that down.
Yeah, whenever you want to start, just go right ahead.
Oi! Which one of you is Durzgots?
One of the orcs steps forward. Yeah, I is. What you want?
Oi, you best be listening to Ironjawz. He's the one that's gonna get us out of this thing.
Yeah, oh, he's gonna get us all killed.
He's gonna take us to proper battles.
Oh, no, no, no. I see he got in your tiny little head, too. We all been fine until Ironjawz starts flapping his gums.
My head is big. Bigger than yours.
Oh, no, it's not. Well, what's it to you anyway?
It's to me is because Ironjawz is the one that's gonna get us out of here. And you're the one that's gonna die. And yeah, Grave Scorcher's gonna just go for it.
Oh, this is brilliant. We gotta get a fucking Emmy for this shit. Please roll initiative against this orc. And let's get some proper territorial battle music going here. We might need to go into Ye Old. Oh, I don't have that here, do I? Okay, hold on. Here we go. Brutal battle. That sounds about right.
Oh yeah, I'm into it.
Oh, this sounds like some 60s sci-fi Planet of the Apes music. Okay, what'd you get? Oh, I'm sorry, that should have been public.
Sorry.
I have 2 successes.
For initiative, I have 3 successes.
Okay, you may act first. Oh, here, I'll put tokens on the board here just so you can target
okay.
stuff.
Okay, cool.
Just a generic orc boy.
You
Boy.
there.
You're out in space. You're gonna take oxygen damage. No, wait. That's probably not what it's called.
Decompression damage.
He's got a mask. He's fine.
Oh yeah,
Be
he
prepared
believes
for
he's
this.
fine, but he'll be fine. While they're starting their fight, can we like start hyping up the orcs around him?
Yeah, give me I would say leadership or influence or persuasion.
I'm definitely gonna go with influence since I can use my strength stat of 3. Let's see. 1 success.
It's not gonna do it.
Yeah, I'll roll. Reroll. 2 successes.
Nope.
Damn.
Okay. I will chop it then.
Okay, go for it. They both pull out big ass choppas and start hacking away at each other.
This guy has a chopper too. That's not fair.
So what's his base?
His defense is 2.
Okay. Here we go.
Okay,
Oh.
you got him, but you got a complication. So roll for all that, please.
The choppa is
Complication
reliable.
first or damage?
Oh, what does that do?
You can ignore the first complication that are reliable weapon rolls.
Ooh,
Ooh.
Thank you, sir.
very cool.
So I just
Good to know.
don't touch that then?
Yeah, you're actually the mech of the group here, Matt. You know the rules to the game, and you remind everybody. Oh, by the way, that works this way.
No soul rolls.
You're the kid on the playground. Nuh-uh, I had a shield.
You didn't hit me.
All right, yeah, roll damage.
Oh,
Wow. Okay. 11 damage, huh? Okay. Well, you get a massive hit on this guy, and he's bleeding profusely and looks really, really injured. He's still up, but just barely.
But he's gonna swing back at you
Okay.
with his own chopper. DN is what's your defense?
3.
Holy shit, your defense 3?
Bro, you're
Yeah.
so cool.
Yeah, and he's wounded, so it's defense 4 now. And he only got 3. I'll use a point of ruin to let him reroll his failures. How do I do that like this? There we go. Okay, I don't know why the ruin thing is getting all
Whoa.
jacked up here, but I'm down to 3.
Do I do anything, or I'm just this is just happening?
You're just happening.
Okay.
Just
Um,
vibing.
Yep, it's
Just chilling.
just getting wrecked. That's all. You take 8 damage. Suck it, orc.
And sorry, it's once again that's what and what.
You
So-
reduce your resilience reduces that damage. That's how many wounds you take.
Okay. So I didn't feel a fucking thing.
Did it equal your resilience, or is it just below it?
Yeah, so I take 1.
No, I believe you take shock damage if it equals your resilience, but doesn't
Oh, okay.
pass it. Let me check here. Because if your shock goes to 0, other stuff happens.
Okay. So shock should read 5 out of 5 and not 0 out of 5.
No, it starts.
Starts at 0 and counts
Yeah,
up.
Okay.
five is your
Now
max.
I'm at 1.
I think. Let me double check here.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it counts up like runes. So it'll be 0 / your maximum.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
At least that's how wounds works.
Yeah.
I'm just checking on the rules for shock here, which I can't.
Is your
find.
resilience 8?
Yes.
That's what mine is, yeah.
That's super intense.
We are orcs.
That seems pretty good.
Well, I kind of figured since he was going to be playing with fire, like it'd be kind of silly to make him paper.
I should have put points into toughness, I think is what you're telling me.
Yeah,
Toughness?
I put 1 point into toughness, I think, so I'm at toughness 5.
Yeah, I put someone at toughness.
Wait. Oh yeah, here it is. Because there's an optional rule where it does extra, but the base rule is if damage of an attack equals target's resilience, you suffer 1 shock.
Okay.
If you suffer more shock than your maximum shock, you are exhausted, which is a status effect.
Now, when does shock reset?
So, with regular resting, it will go away, and you can also use your action to spend a point of wrath to restore shock equal to your rank plus your tier, which
Oh.
for you guys would be a total of 3 right now, because we're tier 2, rank 1.
Okay.
The other thing shock is for is if you take damage, you can basically try to soak that with your shock instead of your armor, or like after your armor. So if you take a
Okay.
really big hit and you're in danger of going down, you can do that instead. But he only does 1 to you, and he looks a little panicked when that happens. Like, I chose poorly. Your turn.
All right, let's retarget him and Chapo away.
Oh boy. Oh, and there's a crit.
Oh.
Roll it. Brutal rupture. All right, Kyle. What does it do? 1 wound plus hindered. Okay.
It's 1d3 wounds?
Yeah. Can you click on that the little die? Does it do anything if you click on it?
One's for what?
In the critical, where it says target suffers plus D3 wounds. Can you click on that?
Oh. It said 1.
Oh,
I
maybe
see.
it auto calculates.
It's already rolled. It's like an alien.
Oh.
You click on it to
Oh.
see what it rolled.
Okay.
Okay. Well, Kyle, would you like to describe how you finish this guy off? Because he is dead.
Oh, I had 2 shifts. I put them both in glory.
Oh, nice.
And how this guy dies?
Yeah. Yeah, he dead.
Yeah, so I'm gonna grab him by the throat and kind of do sort of a choke slam,
Okay.
and then drop the choppa across his throat while like pinning him down.
Mm-hmm.
And Grave Scorcher will lean in and say, "You should have listened. You could have been there with us in battle, but now you end here." And just drives it down, chops his head off.
Damn. I like that. I like that a lot. Well, the nearby orcs are stunned. Many are shocked. A few cheer with excitement. But regardless, yeah, you put that down real quick, and those orcs fall in line with your critical display there. Yeah, they're like, yeah, maybe we should listen to Ironjawz. That seems like a better idea. Not only that, but obviously that gives you a little cred with Ironjawz as well. So that problem is dealt with swiftly. I guess I'll put everybody else out here just in case. The whole crew. Yeah. What's next on the to-do list?
Well, Pepper, should we scoop him up and... Well, one of us should grab a chopper.
Yeah.
Oh,
Also,
yeah.
Can you help me drag his body back to me lab?
Chris, is there anything, can I loot the guy? Is there anything on his person that would be useful?
You could probably find a few teeth, so you can increase your wealth by 1. Other than that, let me just check and see what he would have. That's about it.
Okay.
Yeah, because all of his other weapons would be locked up somewhere. So, yeah, as you say that, Peppa, your orderly appears from out of nowhere, and he offers to carry the choppa for Head Hacka, or for you, whoever's going to take it, assuming Head Hacka helps you carry the body back.
Sure. And
Yeah.
I will let him do that.
And as you guys leave, the Grot looks back at the other orcs. He goes, "And remember who came here. No more funny business. We'll use next." And you guys bring him back to the lab.
What were the other issues?
Well, security's gotten a lot tighter, because they figured that something is up. And now the influx of weapons has pretty much turned to a standstill. And then the other thing is going to be trying to convince these other groups, or basically coordinating with them, what you guys want to do and when you want to launch your attack. And based on that is going to determine, whether or not they help or how much they help. Basically, the thing is like, which of these groups do you want to get involved, and then how do you want to get them involved, and like, what is your overall plan? Like, what are you guys going to do, and then how does everyone else fit into that?
Yeah. Well, I guess the big issue is, how do we get out of here? Like, if we can get that door open, we can get out.
Oh, that was the other thing I rolled for. Let me go back up here and see. Zingitz thinks they can get the door open, but he suggests having a backup plan in case he can't.
Gotcha.
So yeah, basically what I need for you guys to do is decide what's your actual plan, like specifically what are you guys going to do to start this, and then we'll deal with how you guys interact with the other groups to see which ones you can convince to join you, and then we can start off the riot, I guess, unless there's anything else you guys want to do in the meantime. So if you guys want to start discussing that, I'm gonna go refill my water here. So I've got my headphones though, so I can still hear you guys.
All right. So we can possibly get the door open, but we need a backup plan in case we don't. That might be up onto Ed Aka to maybe you can hack the door.
Oh, maybe.
Well,
I mean, the enforcers do come in every once in a while to break up our fights. We could stage something near the door.
Oh, yeah. We could, like, get a massive fucking brawl started, you know, plan it a few days from now, and then let the other groups
They
know.
come in with weapons. They come in with weapons to try and disperse us, and we
Pull out our hidden gats. Yeah. Okay, that probably would work.
was thinking something kind of similar, but if we could like scoot a critical mass of stuff to the guys on the other end of the engines and just have them create a distraction, if they start a riot on their side initially, then it'd be a little easier for us to get to the armory. And we're out of the thing. I guess that's not a good idea for a backup plan of how to get out the door.
Yeah. Plus, we got to convince them to work with us, and they probably don't want to be the ones to start a riot and then possibly get murdered.
Yeah, I don't think we necessarily need to convince them to work with us as much as we need to like give them a means of causing trouble. Or maybe we need to do both. We could try it. Just, you know, toss like some guns in and be like, go nuts.
Wing it, yeah.
See what happens. Maybe that's not a well, I guess we could.
I like the start a brawl near the door idea. So, and then after we get out, we just need to make our way to the armory and then convince the scarred humans to fight with us, right?
say we just open all the doors and see what happens.
Just open every door we come across and let people escape.
They either fight for us or fight against us. Either way, we get a scrap.
Yeah.
Now you're thinking like orcs.
Don't think of a plan. Fight with a plan. Just start. Everything is a fight. That's all you need.
Okay, so are you all agreed that the distraction or the backup, if he can't get the door open, is to start a fight near the door and hope that they come in to break it up and then use that as a means to try to escape? Did I
think
Did I hear that correctly?
So.
I think so, yeah.
Is that what you were inferring, Eric? I just want to make sure I understand what you were pitching.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, if you guys are fine with that, that'll be your backup plan. Then the other thing, I guess, is what is the actual plan once you guys get out? However you get out, assuming the door is open and the tribe can escape the plasma drive room, what are you guys gonna do? I mean, you've got, like I said, about 749 orcs now.
Damn it, Grave Scorcho. Ruined our perfect number. Do we want to take over the Geller fields?
Well, do we think we can fly the ship if we take it over?
Oh yeah. Your big mech Mulgrim. Did I share him last week? I think I did.
I think so.
I think
Yeah.
so, yeah.
Yeah, Mulgrim, the big mech, is all about. Oh yeah, we'll make the ship work. And Head Hacka, you're like, yeah, we're orcs, we'll figure it out. We just need to get control of the ship first. So the next thing I need to know is, yeah, what's the plan once you guys get out? How are you going to get control of the ship, basically? Are you just going to let the orcs run loose and hope things work out, or is there going to be any semblance of a plan? You know, and how do the other groups fit into that?
I think we wanted to bust into the armory and get everybody's gear and all of that.
Okay, so we escape our home. We escape, go to the armory, get our gear, and then take Ironjawz and just raid the command decks.
We'll have Ironjawz rip open the other doors. With his power claw, he should be able to tear them down.
Sure, but we need to know where we're sending. I mean, at the end of the day, we probably got to kill the Rouge Trader. We can't just let her hang out in her command deck area.
Use the black rock.
Yeah. Can we make the black rock into a weapon, like a explosive or a grenade or something?
It's possible, but probably be difficult. Head Hacka would have to do some more experimentation and tests. I mean, you guys don't know if the Rouge Trader is a psyker or not, so you don't know what kind of effect it might have on her, if any.
You shoot her with this magic glowy rock and just okay, well, you hit me with a rock, thanks.
Yeah, it's like dink.
Well, here's my plasma pistol at you. I feel like the command decks are probably the best option, because once you have control of the ship, at least from there, you're good, right? So,
I mean, we want to do all of that for sure, but are there any side stops that we want to make on the way to be like, hey, you faction, come with us and cause trouble?
probably the Eldar, because they can just beat up the other Eldar.
Well, I think the best thing with is to decide, how how do you want to get each group involved? Which groups do you want to get involved? How do you want to get them involved? And then what are they going to do, assuming they decide to help? Are you going to try to have everybody kind of break out at the same time? Is there going to be a signal? Is this group supposed to do this particular thing, or capture this part of the ship, or go after this person, or stuff like that?
Yeah. Well, we could definitely convince the Elder, I think, to help, or at least participate, and just tell them to hunt down their fellow traitor, and that's one less person we have to deal with. The regular, or the scarred humans, I mean, they seem eager, so just offer them freedom and let them loose. Take control of the engine rooms, the warp drives.
I think what I'm going to suggest here to have everyone kind of involved, I would say each of you, each character, you'll be in charge of each of one of the other groups on the ship, as far as what you want them to do, how you want to try to get them out, and we'll role play you negotiating with them. We'll assume that maybe there's a way that Zingitz can get you guys a meeting,
and we'll role play that out because I think that would be interesting, so you can kind of meet some of the other factions here on the ship.
Sounds good to me.
So let me know who wants to do which one, and you guys can discuss how you want to, like, what you want to say to these people, and what you want to offer, and then we can role play that conversation out with each of you.
Sure.
Sounds good. I wanted to ask really quick, just as a matter of course, are there any onboard cannons that we could just spin around and point at the bridge? I want to say no, but I just wanted to check.
The dorsal cannon, technically, yes, they are 360, but you probably don't want to destroy the bridge.
I guess that makes sense.
Mulgrim would probably say, yeah, that's a bad idea. I mean, it's a good idea, but it's a bad idea, because we need the bridge. Now, if we get on another ship, that'd be pretty funny to do that.
Well, Peppa would want to talk to the Eldar, so that's my vote, or that's the one I would.
Okay, so Peppa, you got the Eldar. We'll just go down the list, or just whoever you guys want. Just tell me.
We'll do the Kroot.
I knew that was coming.
I'm gonna bring them an orc arm to eat.
Ooh. Oh, look at that. Now you're thinking with gas. All right. Kyle and Matt.
What do we got?
There's the Ogrins, which are ogres in space. There's the Ratlings, which are halflings in space.
Ooh.
There's the Tau, which are a blue alien species. And there's the Scarred Humans, which, out of game, they are basically enslaved heretics and cultists.
Oh, okay.
They've been branded so that everyone knows, and that's why they're treated so poorly. But this rogue trader is she doesn't give a fuck, and she's willing to like I said, she's kind of radical, so she uses them. But they're definitely like, oh, you can be redeemed by working in servitude to the Emperor for the rest of your life, sort of thing.
I've been referring to them in my notes as penal legion guys.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's definitely people like that on here, like regular like prisoners. But yeah, for all intents and purposes, they're like heretics and cultists.
Okay.
Probably some mutants in there too, because they're heretics and cultists. So yeah, those are the main groups that are left: the Ogrins, the Ratlings, the cultists, and the Tau.
Yeah, I think I'd go for, or I think Grave Scorcher would go for the Ogrins.
Okay. Head hacker.
Dude, I should have jumped on that earlier. I'll talk to the spooky guys. Someone's
okay.
gotta.
Okay. All right, sounds good. Okay. Do you guys want to discuss between yourselves how you want to approach each of these, or do you just want to jump in and you guys can each kind of do it yourself?
I mean, do we have any knowledge of these other races, or like
only the basic minimum that Zin has given you already?
Okay, so we've never encountered these races before.
No. Yeah. I mean, you may have seen like an Ogren or a Ratling in passing, but the other ones, especially the heretics, they're never like let out. And the other
even
ones
with even if we're sent planet side, like we haven't fought against these creatures.
Probably not. No. We'll say no, just to make the experience a little more interesting.
Okay.
So yeah, do you guys want to plan right now, or just jump into the role play and just go with the flow?
I mean, we're orcs. We should just go with the flow.
Yeah, if we don't know anything about them, there's not much we can plan either. We're just walking into...
Blind negotiation.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Eric, we'll start with you, because it sounds like you might have an idea how you want to approach this. For the other 3 players, you guys want to think what you might say to these groups, or offer, or suggest, how they're going to be part of the plan, or that you're going to try this breakout and you want them to help. I know your characters aren't built for negotiations necessarily, but for role-playing sake, that's what we'll do. We'll assume, you've got the Grots helping you, or other orcs that maybe are better at negotiating or threatening, or maybe you have other things to offer them. But think about how you want to approach that, and we'll start off with Eric. So, Loktar, Zin gets, basically shows you there's plenty of ways to get around the ship, and you, being the commando, appreciate his ideas and his stealth tactics here. And he gets you to one of the gun batteries, where you see, the massive macro cannons and the huge devices that are used to load the actual ammunition, which takes teams and teams of, in this case, slaves to do so. And you do see the Ogrins here as well, so perhaps Gravescorch is with you. You guys will each talk to one of them. But yeah, the Ogrins are, they're ogres, they're huge humanoid creatures, just slabs of muscle. They're all about the size of Ironjawz, if not a little bigger. And you can tell that they are simply here for their brute strength. The Kroot, on the other hand, are there actually Kroot in here that I can show any pictures for? I think there is. Okay, yeah, here we go. So here's what an Ogrin looks like. Oh, this is cool. There's a new feature. If I try to show something, I can actually choose which characters to show it to. Oh, that's nice. So here's what an Ogrin looks like. In 40K, they're under the subcategory of abhuman. So they are a species of human that is developed differently based on their home world. And they're not necessarily executed outright or considered a xenospecies. So unlike orcs and Eldar and Tau, Ogrins are theoretically part of the Imperium. Depending where you are in the Imperium, they may or may not be treated with a little bit more respect or usefulness. But they are large, massive creatures that are valued for their strength and toughness and slabs of muscle, but are known for being very dim-witted creatures and not the most clever. They are one of the most well-known abhuman species, and they are often used in the Imperial Guard, or the Astra Militarum, as heavy shock troops, because they can dish it out, they can take it, and they're given big old guns that don't break very easily, or they're given massive riot shields and shock mauls to go pummel stuff to death with. And they don't like small, dark places. So getting them in a Chimera transport is never easy because it's dark in there. The other creatures, we do have pictures, okay, are the Kroot. So Kroot they are one of the first species that the Tau encountered when the Tau left their home planet and started their spheres of expansion. And the Tau try to bring other species into their empire peacefully first, and then resort to war as a last resort if need be. And because of this, the Tau military actually has quite a mixture of other alien species. The most known and famous are the Kroot, who are one of the many that joined willingly. And they're described as avian-type creatures, believed to be descended from some sort of bird, but they look kind of lizard-like in appearance, as far as their skin is kind of scaly and darkly colored, not unlike orcs. They do come in a variety of colors based on the planet they're from, and they have these kind of beaky mouths and basically quills for hair. Also kind of juts out some of their arms and their back. They're fast, they're agile, very athletic,
They have kind of a tribal society, and in the Tau army, they are often used as close combat troops because, unlike the Tau, the Kroot don't mind getting up close. And while they do know how to use firearms, they tend to be a little bit better when it comes to hand-to-hand combat. Also, the Kroot are known for their strange nature of where something that they eat, they can basically digest the genetic code of something they consume, and the tribe will start to take on the traits of what they eat. And so if they were to eat an Ogren, for example, they might get stronger and larger. If they ate an orc, they might start to get some of that aggression an orc has, the desire to fight. Their skin might change to a darker green color. So many Kroot tribes can be really flexible in that, especially in warfare, they can consume their fallen enemies and start taking on some of their abilities. The Kroot on this ship have kind of a sandy tan color, and their quills are kind of like a bright turquoise. And they're often led by what's called a Kroot Shaper, which is basically their tribal chieftain. So, Loktar, you you are introduced to the Shaper that is in charge of this group.
Okay.
And his name is Karis. Put that in chat for you. And he is the Shaper.
Okay. I'm gonna kind of beat my chest, be like, Loktar.
He gives you a similar return, clearly trying to show that he's not intimidated or scared.
Looking to get out of here. Start fight. Take off the chains.
He listens, nodding every now and then as you speak.
Will your people join us?
How do you plan to escape?
We've been hoarding weapons. We have a way out. And we're working with the other species on board, other races on board. It's not just us. We're all looking to get out of here.
And what happens when you do escape? Then what?
We find a planet and go our separate ways.
He narrows his eyes, clearly trying to size you up and judge your intentions here. I guess if you are trying to bluff this, you'll need to make a deception test. But if you're speaking truthfully, it's up to you. You tell me.
Oh, okay.
Obviously it's not necessarily something you can promise because there's a lot of factors, but if your intention here is to truthfully be like, I don't have a problem with you guys leaving or us going our separate ways. But if you're intensely trying to deceive him to make him join you, then it'd be a deception test.
Okay. No. We're not trying to, I would say as orcs, we're looking for a big fight, not to fight with more small groups on the ship.
Okay.
My understanding is we're looking to get out of here and go find a big planet to go to.
Well, Karis says, as long as my people can go free, when we've thrown off the chains, we will help. We will fight.
We have no intention of keeping slaves. We're done here. My people want freedom.
As do mine. What would you have us do?
When we escape, we're gonna go door to door. When we get to yours, we're gonna start our way towards the bridge.
Seems like if he could, he'd be like kind of chewing his bottom lip, and he says, "It's a long way to get to the bridge from here. It'll take even longer if you're coming to get us and then go back the way you came."
We're gonna open the armory on our way out as well. We need more weapons. You're welcome to it.
He said, "Well, we'll certainly need that. We can make a few things if need be. Plenty of explosives down here that we could jury-rig, but nothing for doing a real fight."
Do your people have any extra control down here? Control over anything that could be useful?
There's usually a couple overseers keeping the Ogrins in check and telling them what to do. There is one that they is in charge. You kind of see he rolls his eyes at that. Bonehead, they call him, but he's just the least stupid of them all.
Can you get the Ogrin to follow you?
Unlikely. Guards here basically treat the Ogrin like big children. The Ogrin just kind of fall in line. They make it clear that they're not supposed to listen to us and what we say. Occasionally we might be able to fool one, but not on any sort of grand scale. They watch us too closely.
Any way to get them out of the way?
If there's no overseer nearby, then they usually get confused, don't know what to do. They don't really take initiative either, unless they're threatened, so if you could get rid of the overseers, I suppose we at least wouldn't have to deal with the Ogrin too much.
Understood.
Can you get us any weapons?
Our Grot companions, they may be able to bring stuff down. They've been watched closely, though.
And when is all this happening? When do we know the time is right?
3 days.
He nods to that. And, is there a signal? Something we should be on the lookout for to know that this has started?
When we take the armory, we'll set off an explosion before we're headed your direction.
And scratches his chin for a moment. It'd have to be a pretty big explosion for us to notice all the way here. Keep in mind, Eric, the ship is 4.5 kilometers long.
How far are the Kroot from us?
The Kroot are in each of the macro batteries. So there's like 6 of them on each side of the ship. And they work on the gunnery crews with the Ogrin to load. So they're basically throughout this whole part of the ship.
Okay. And we're up front.
You guys are back here by the plasma drive. And the armory is like in between you guys, and it's not like listed here, but...
Okay, so wouldn't... Oh, and the bridge is above us.
Yep.
Oh, I see now. Well, orcs make a big boom. You'll get your signal.
He looks unconvinced at that, but seems to just kind of, resign to the fact that that's your plan, so... He says, "Very well. If we see the signal, we will act. You have my word."
Thank you.
Mm.
We'll have our Grots bring you more information as it comes.
And he extends a long 3-fingered claw
to shake your hand.
And I take it.
He has a surprisingly strong grip for such a lanky, frail-looking creature.
If you need anything, send a message back.
He simply nods and, takes his few men that are with him, and they disappear back into the bowels of the ship. Meanwhile, why don't we move... who wants to go next? Anyone in particular?
I'll go.
All right, so Grave Scorcha, you're there in the same area of the ship with Loktar, and Zingritz points out these Ogrins, and, perhaps you're even with him when he meets with Harris, and he kind of explains that, the Ogrin are pretty dumb. There's usually an overseer keeping, charge of each team, but for the most part, once they're given an order, they tend to just do it unless they don't understand. So they got to be given fairly simple commands. He does tell you there is one that they call a bonehead, which you learn usually as an Ogrin that has shown slightly above average intelligence. And because of this, they're given cerebral implants to try to increase their intellect a little bit to the point where they might almost be on par with a regular human. And there is one such bonehead here that that they have.
Okay. Can I see, does Grave Scorcher see any of the overseers?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. How many are there?
There's one per team. So
okay.
usually there's maybe there's probably at least 2 teams per gun.
Oh,
and there's two guns in each section of the ship, one on each side.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's probably there's one team on each side of a single gun. And each team is maybe I don't know, 5 to 10 Ogrin.
Okay.
Which seems like a lot, but we consider the crew's 26,000 people.
That's true.
There's not a ton of Ogrins.
Yeah, so if he can, Grave Scorcher would try and find this bonehead.
Okay. You do, and his name is where is it? It's Goz, G-O-Z.
Okay.
And it looks like in his case, there is an overseer for his team, but you quickly learn that the overseer is usually just there to tell Goz something to do, and then Goz is basically left in charge of his team. So the overseer is usually not there. And Goz seems to understand the basic functions of what their job is here. Which currently is not a whole lot because you guys aren't fighting anything. So it's like lift heavy things and move them around.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
you're able to get a meeting with him. We'll assume somehow it's arranged.
Okay. I think Grave Scorcher would go up to Goz and be like, "Oh, you's a big human."
He looks down at you, since he is about probably 8 or 9 feet tall. Yeah, what's it to you?
I assume you like proper fighting?
He shakes his head, or nods it up and down. Yeah, maybe.
Well, what if there was fighting and you got lots of food for fighting?
You can see he's struggling to understand the concept, but it finally seems to come to him, and he nods again. Uh-huh.
Well, in a few days, if you make everybody fight, everybody gets food.
He's like, okay. So we fight. So all the Ogrins fight each other, and we get food?
You can fight whoever you want and you get food. Except us. And
At first, when you're like, you can fight anyone, he's like, oh, like that makes total sense. Then when you're like, but not us, and then it's like, there's another part of this that's put into the equation that makes him like stop and think, and he's like, wait, what?
Just fight each other. The Gray Scorcher was just like, yeah. Even he's not that smart, but he knows better than to make things more difficult.
He's like, okay.
But you still get food.
Uh-huh. All right.
And then
Go ahead.
Sorry, we were going for 3 days, right?
I guess that's, yep, it has been decided, 3 days.
Okay. So yeah, that's in 3 days. Start some fights, and there's gonna be food.
Okay. I think this makes sense because you both have very, very low intellect and fellowship here.
Mm-hmm.
You give me a leadership test. I think, let's see. Leadership. Yeah, you give me a leadership test, and I'm going to make him do a, probably an insight test here to see if he comprehends what you're telling him.
Okay.
So it's an opposed test. Doesn't matter. You don't have to worry about a DN.
No, that's
That's rough.
nothing.
Do you want to use
Yeah.
Wrath and or Glory?
Yeah, I will use Wrath.
Okay.
So just re-rolled failed.
Yep.
Okay. Better.
You got 2. Do you want to use any Glory?
What do we got in glory? Yeah, you know what? I'll take a glory.
Okay.
What do I do? Am I able to do
You just have to roll a new dice.
Oh.
Yeah, there's not. So you just at the bottom of the rolling thing.
Roll a d6.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll reduce this. Oh, almost a 6.
Ooh.
Okay. 3 successes. He has 0. So you convey your thing clear enough, even though he doesn't quite comprehend it. You've got enough here where that'll kind of overcome his stupidity, and he gets fight each other, get food. Makes it pretty clear.
Mm-hmm.
He has a little problem when you're like 3 days and he starts to try to count that. That's where you think he might get confused. But you do successfully convey your orders, you think.
Okay.
About as best, you're like, hey, I've explained it as best I can, man. It's all on you now.
Yeah.
All right. Who's next?
So there's a riot.
I'll go next, I guess.
All right, Peppa. Going to meet with the elusive Eldar, and I had a name, and I think I lost my page. Anyway, so these Eldar are in fairly just basic clothing, nothing too fancy. They've definitely seen better days. They are Craft World Eldar, as far as you can tell, or maybe Corsairs. You know, they're not Drukhari, they're not Dark Eldar.
That's good.
Yeah, they're not the infamous Wood Eldar that we always wished would have been part of 40k. And their ships of wood technology.
Space Wood Eldar.
Yeah, they're ships of wood technology. They're coming.
That would have been great.
A
Yeah.
single flamer just burned their whole armada to the ground.
Let me find his name. All right. The de facto leader, let me type it in chat here, is Alathanil.
Alathanil. Damn, son.
That was good, Matt.
All right. So yeah. Hello, I'm Pepper.
What do you want, Xenos? No, he wouldn't call you Xenos because he's Xenos.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense.
Well, all right, just brass tacks. Us orcs are gonna stage a riot and escape in about 3 days. We want you to help out.
And why would we help you and your kind out?
One of our grots told me you have a grudge against that Eldar that's working for the Rouge Trader. Think of like this is a chance at revenge for you.
You can tell his eyes narrow, and it definitely you can, you know, it's like getting under his skin or his blood's boiling at the mention of him. And he says something in the Eldari language, which you're guessing is either the guy's like Eldari name, or it might be like some sort of Eldari insult, you know, like traitor, backstabber, bastard. You know, you're not sure, but he says like a 1 or 2 word thing in their tongue that indicates, you know, you've got his attention.
Right. Seems like you're interested. Like I said, 3 days we're gonna cause some chaos. Start opening doors. Gonna get the armory opened, so you'll have access to your gear, or just weapons. And once we're all done, I don't really care if you leave or live or whatever, so we just want to not be slaves to this rogue trader anymore.
Again, same question I gave to Eric. Are you trying to deceive him, or are you pretty
No,
upfront with what you're saying?
Yeah, Peppa doesn't have any plans to kill all of them. He assumes it'll fall to whatever Ironjawz wants to do, but
Holy shit.
sounds like they got some thick dice rolls, boys.
Dude, I rolled 4 6s on this roll out of
God.
7 dice.
Damn.
Yeah. And why are you telling us this? What do you want from us?
Oh, the more chaos that's caused, the easier it is for us to get up to the bridge and kill that stupid bitch.
You were asking us to join you in assaulting the bridge.
Where are they actually located?
They work like in the Gellerfield generators.
Okay. So they're like on the way to the bridge.
I mean, you guys would basically go straight up from where you are,
Okay.
depending, especially because remember the armory is like over here-ish somewhere.
Right.
So it's basically straight up. They're pretty much directly above you guys when you're in the plasma drive.
Okay.
So they're kind of behind the bridge.
Gotcha. You don't have to help us assault the bridge, but just keep people away from it.
A distraction.
You guys seem like you're good at that kind of thing.
He looks at you, not sure if that's an insult or you actually think that he's good at it, and he's not. And then he's like, "Oh, are you just being like a racist asshole?" Like he's not sure. So he bristles a little bit at that. He's like, and what exactly would you have us do?
Let's see. Orcs don't use Geller fields, right? They're all of their ships just fuck off into the warp and have no issues. Is that how they...
Yeah, I think pretty much. Let's see. I'll just read the fucking thing I found on one of the lexiconums. Wait, where'd it go? In place of the flickering Geller fields of Imperial starships, orcs use a variety of adornments, totems, huge plate teeth, and protective glyphs to ward off the malign influence of the warp. It is unknown if these actually scare off warp creatures, as freebooters have been known to claim, or simply inspire such confidence in their crews that the ships are wreathed in a crackling shield of Wa energy while in the warp. It is possible that demons just aren't so fond of orc souls' taste as they are with human ones. They seem to work most of the time, but occasionally demons are able to pass to orc ships, providing entertainment to bored crews.
Some classic arc stuff.
Just so fucking funny, man.
This is why we should have played BFG.
Right.
Oh, this fucking picture, it's amazing.
So, Peppa would say, to answer his question, you guys work in those Geller fields, right? Blow it up, and then just kill any crew you find on your way to find your nemesis or whatever.
You want us to destroy the Geller field generators?
Yeah.
You do realize then we would not be able to go into warp space.
Never stopped orcs before.
He kind of shakes his head like he's like, you probably don't even know what warp space is, do you?
Yeah.
And what guarantee do we have that you won't just slay my people? Or that we'll actually have a chance to extract our revenge?
Other than my word, probably nothing.
There's an orc ship, by the way, for you guys to enjoy. A kill cruiser.
Oh. Very orky. It has a literal jaw. Alright.
I like the effigy of Gork at the top. There's a big orc face at the very top.
Yep. Yeah. Orc engineering. Amazing.
So, he says, you can tell he's considering this. You're pretty sure that he can tell that, you're being truthful, but he doesn't seem too convinced on your plan or your suggestion for their part in this, but you can tell that he definitely wants to get revenge on the Eldar that's part of her crew. He says, all right, Greenskin, here's my proposal. If you can bring us Imlorian, you have yourself a deal.
Okay, so once we start our escape, you want us to find Imlorian and bring him here?
I would imagine at that point you wouldn't really need our help.
Yeah.
So no, I want him before I risk my people, before we agree to anything as suicidal as even tampering with the Geller fields.
Well, I can give it a shot. But...
well, if you do that, then we have ourselves a deal. If not, we'll stay out of your way.
works for us. If I figure a way out to get him down here, I'll somehow get you a message.
And yeah, with that, your conversation comes to a pretty quick conclusion. And then we will go to Head Hacker, who's going to the Chaos Heretics, right?
Yeah. Let's
Okay.
see what kind of talking mood they're in.
So you find yourself at the very back end of the ship, where the actual engines connect to the plasma drive reactor. It is incredibly noisy and dirty back here, very dark, very dreary and ominous. And when you eventually do see these individuals, the ones that are working are kept on like a chain gang, basically. You see humans, although their state is very wretched, clearly malnourished, mistreated, really never seeing the light of anything, with very pale skin and countless wounds and scars and brandings, which you would not recognize, but to the viewers here, we would recognize as, either symbols of chaos that have been etched out and covered over with imperial iconography like the Aquila. When they're working, they're kept on a chain gang, so they can't go anywhere, and they're forced to do pretty dreadful tasks to keep the engines operational and very low skill basic maintenance. When they are not on active working duty, they are kept in basically a large prison system. Yours is probably the hardest meeting to get set up, but Zingitz does provide and is able to get you snuck into this prison complex and basically communicate through a weird little transmission system that he sets up. I don't want to say like through pipes, but you're not actually face to face with this guy. That's just impossible to do because of how they are locked up. But he is able to. Actually, you know what? No, he probably. We'll say they find a way to distract some guards and get you a couple minutes where you're like on the other side of the door with this guy, like a prison door, a prison bar or something like that. And yeah, you see a human who he's completely bald shaven, very scarred up head and scarred up flesh. Looks like maybe with some terrible burn damage to a lot of his exposed flesh. And yeah, you've got a meeting with this guy.
Oh, you look like you've been in a few good scraps.
I'm gonna sort of wave my hand in my face as a gesture.
What is it that you want? Why have you called me here?
We're looking to start a fight with the overseers and whatnot. Sick of being downtrodden and so on. Thought you might feel similarly.
His eyes narrow. Why would you want to help us?
It's more of a win-win. We do a fight, overthrow the overseers. That's it, I guess.
By the way, this guy's name is Alvarar. Alvarar, yeah, that's how you say it. And how do you plan to do this, Xenos?
Well, we've been working on a bit of smuggling. Get some weapons out to the general pop. And hit the armory and and crack it open for even more darker. Then you shoot him up in the bridge.
And what's our part to play in this?
I think mainly just ride the wave with us. We can supply some choppers and guns. You break the chains, start a riot to get the guards up, and but we all bust out of here.
He says, weapons are great and all, but we need a way to get out of here. I'll need things so that we can actually break out, or we need you to break us out. If you can get us cutting torches or bolt cutters, things like that. If we can get free, we can fight.
Well, we could do that. Maybe even throw some explosions in. For good luck.
At this point, Zingitz comes like around the corner and tugs on your pants leg. He's like, "Boss, they're gonna be back soon. You gotta wrap this up."
Anything else gotta hit the road.
When?
I'm told 3 days or so. I think someone will come get you though. An explosion. And that'll be what kicks it all off.
He gives you a wicked smile, and you can see that his teeth appear to be sharpened, unlike any human you've ever seen. Some of them replaced with either metal or silver teeth, you're not sure. And he says, "You get us the means to get out of here. Oh, we'll fight."
Nice.
And he sticks his hand through the bar of the window. You know, it's like a little like view, just where you can just a little what am I saying? Just a little viewport in the door with like 3 bars, and he puts his hand through there to like shake yours.
I'll shake his hand.
And he gives you one last smile and he says, "If only the Emperor could see us now." And he disappears out of view.
I turn to Zingitz and say,
What do you think his teeth are worth?
Nothing, they're fake.
Ah, yeah, that makes sense.
They ain't orc teeth, they ain't worth dirt.
Ain't even human teeth, I think. No, none of the others grow like that.
Yeah, probably some Mad Doc stuff, you know?
Interesting.
I mean, it probably helps out in a fight, right? But it probably ain't worth nothing. Anyway, we should probably get back, huh?
I'm gonna kick it and mention it to Peppa later. Like Mad Doc stuff. You can sharpen teeth. Oh wait, that doesn't make sense for orcs. Yeah, whatever. I'll mention it anyway.
Alright, yeah, just give him more crazy ideas. That's what we need. Alright. Well, I think that's a good place to call it here tonight as the preparations are underway. So we will see next week as you put these plans into motion, and we basically do an episode of Braveheart here and try to break free for freedom.
Glory. And one might say wrath.
Oh, it will be. Anything else, fellas, or should we wrap it up there?
Yeah, I think I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good.
Excellent. All right, then. Well, listeners, thanks again for stopping by and listening to us again. Check us out over on Patreon if you want to help support the show, or all of our various social medias and help us build this channel even more. Let us know what you're thinking about the campaign so far. It's definitely something different, so interested to see what you think and where you think it's going to go. So until next time, thanks so much again, and nighty-night.